It's reveal day for Wilds of Eldraine, and we have some wild spoilers to go over with some new cards and some reprints that are actually getting me thinking maybe this could be a better set than Commander Masters, especially for the price point. Welcome back to the channel, Mattcaster Mage here. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and joining in all the fun we have here on my channel. I make multiple videos sometimes a day, like today, because we had a massive reveal for Wilds of Eldraine, and we're going to try to cover everything that we can. So we're going to jump straight into it here. So we have Fawn's Bane Troll here. It's a rare, 2 colorless, 1 black and 1 green. So you can sacrifice an aura attached to Fawn's Bane Troll. Fawn's Bane Troll fights with target creature you don't control. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead, activate only as a sorcery. So that's its 1 mana ability here. It is a 4/4, and whenever it enters the battlefield, you can create a monster roll token attached to it. Very interesting here. Next up, we have Lich Knight's Conquest, and this is a really interesting card. 4 colorless, 1 black. It's a sorcery, it's a rare. You can sacrifice any number of artifacts, enchantments, and tokens. Return that many creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Kind of seems a little bit like a Living End style card, but I think it could be good in the Commander format. Who knows? You know, Standard, you can actually get away with playing higher casting cost stuff like this, so it could make its way into Standard. Next up here is Eldraine of the Wild Court. It is a legendary creature, human knight. It's a mythic. It's a 4/4, 2 colorless, 1 green, and 1 white. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a virtue roll token attached to another creature you control. Whenever an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Next up here is Eldraine Casting Director here. It's a 1 colorless, 1 green, and 1 white. It is a mythic and it's a legendary creature. It's a 2/3, and when it enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. You can create a royal roll token attached to that creature, create a sorcerer roll token attached to that creature, or create a monster roll token attached to that creature. Next up here, we got Tegwell, Duke of Splendor, and this is another mythic. It's a 2/3, it's 1 colorless, 1 blue, and 1 black. Flying Death Touch, other fairies you control get +1/+1, so it's a bit of a lord. We have whenever another fairy you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Affilate Cunning Conqueror here. It's another mythic. It's a 2 colorless, 1 blue, and 1 black, 2/4 flying legendary creature, fairy warlock. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature token with flying. Whenever 1 or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, go target creature that player controls. Next up here is Restless Cottage. It is a land. It enters the battlefield tapped. You can add 1 black or 1 green. And for 2 colorless, 1 black and 1 green, Restless Cottage becomes a 4/4 black and green horror creature until end of turn, and it's still a land. Not bad. Next up, we have Virtue of Knowledge. It is a mythic enchantment here, and this is with the showcase border. You can go on an instant adventure, copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for that copy. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Next up here, the Goose Mother. Yes, we did get Gilded Goose originally from the first Throne of Eldraine, and now we have Goose Mother, and it's a bird hydra. That is horrifying. That is, I'm never going to get that image out of my head. Legendary creature, bird hydra, flying. The Goose Mother enters battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When the Goose Mother enters the battlefield, create half X food tokens. Round it up. Whenever the Goose Mother attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, draw a card. It is a 2/2 as well. And we have Sir Ginger, the Meal Ender. Here, it's a legendary artifact creature, Food Knight. It's 2 colors, so it's a legendary artifact creature. Sir Ginger, the Meal Ender, has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker. Whenever another artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. And for 2, you can tap it to sacrifice Sir Ginger, and you gain life equal to its power, and it's a 3/1. Next up here we have Kellen, the Fey-Blooded. It is a human fairy. It does also have adventure. It's 2 colorless and 1 red. Search your library for an aura or equipment card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. It's got double strike, and other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen, the Fey-Blooded. Next up we have Will, Scion of Peace. It's a legendary creature, human wizard, 1 colorless, 1 blue, and 1 white. Vigilance, you can tap it. Spells you cast this turn that are white and / or blue cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn, activate only as a sorcery. Next up, Realm Scorcher Hellkite. Nice dragon, maybe it'll make its way into some Dragon decks. It's a mythic, it's a 4/6, it has Bargain, Flying Haste. When Realm Scorcher enters the battlefield, if it was bargained, add 4 mana in any combination of colors. It has a 1 colorless and 1 red for an ability where Realm Scorcher Hellkite deals 1 damage to any target. Kind of almost like a fire breathing effect there. That could be really useful in Commander, especially if you can't get through with combat damage. So that is an interesting card. I think it's going to be really good in Commander. Iriot, the Charmed Apple here, legendary creature, human warlock, 2/4. Each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can attack you or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of auras you control. Next up, we have Elvish Archivist. Elf Artificer here is a 0/1, 1 colorless, and 1 green. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever one or more enchantments enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Now we have Agatha of the Vile Cauldron. It's a legendary creature, human warlock, 1/1. Activate abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of Vile Cauldron's power. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. It has another ability, 4 colorless, 1 green, 1 red. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and haste until end of turn. So here are some reprints. We have Bitter Blossom, which is interesting because I think it was in the lore and block. It might have been Morning Tide where it came out, and we are getting a lot of fairy themed stuff in here. Surprise, surprise, it is Eldraine. So it's interesting. If you look at the price point of the original one, it's been pretty flat for the last 3 months, 6 months. Pretty flat. 1 year, it's been slightly on the downward trend. Interesting reprint to include here, but I mean, flavor-wise, it definitely does work. So as you can see right now, the market price is about $25.42. Next is another reprint, Spreading Seas. Great card. It's really good in Modern, really good in any sort of Merfolk deck. And then as you can see here, it's not a very expensive card. It is a great card though. Not expensive, but it's an interesting reprint to see here. It's only 72 cents right now for its market price. Next up here is Copy Enchantment, and this is the borderless version of the card. As you can see, it's a $9.08 card, originally printed in Ravnica. And if you look at the trend right here, it looks like it's been pretty much on the downward decline, and now it's getting reprints, so it might actually go down even further. We have Blood Moon here. So this is the borderless version, and this is the beautiful showcase one. I have to say that one looks absolutely stunning. If you look at the price points though, 9th edition, $12.15. It hasn't really been on the rise lately. It's actually been, well, actually it's been on the rise slightly, but it's pretty much flatlined. Not a lot of value there, but it's a great card, very crippling in a game. Now you have the Double Masters version of the card as well, sitting at about $11.63. And we also have Defense of the Heart as well. This is another card being reprinted in this set. This is the showcase version of the card. There's an anime style as well that looks freaking incredible, I have to say. Now, if you look, the original version from Urza's Legacy, which is a rare, is sitting at about $15.04 for its market price. And if you look at the trend for the last year, it's only went down a little bit. It went down a little further about 5 months ago, but it's been on the rise, but it'll probably be on the decline now. Now, they're obviously going to be very difficult to pull, like especially the mythic versions of these, and they are different rarities, so there's some uncommons and rares and mythics, so you're going to get 1 per pack, similar to Strixhaven, and I think based on the reprints, there is some really good reprints here, but it's still shocking to see reprints that aren't really that expensive on the market, but nonetheless, it's just an extra fun slot, and the original cards in the set actually look phenomenal, so I'm really excited about it. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like down below and comment. Let me know what your favorite card of the day that was spoiled was, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Use promo code Mattcaster for 5% off your order at Face to Face Games, Canada's largest Magic the Gathering store. Qualified orders get free shipping Canada-wide if you use our promo code Mattcaster at checkout. Whether you're buying singles or sealed product, use our code to support the show and get a discount.